Sonwal and I am your Gyaniv. Today we will learn about a lot of stuff in this video. We will go through a program to check whether deadlock exists or not. So this program will help us to figure out will the deadlock be there or not. So make sure to stick around till the end to learn all these things that we will cover today in a greater detail. The link to all this stuff is provided in the description below. You can access all the codes and explanations from our site. There are also tons of related assignments on gyanibuddy.com, so do check them out. So let's get started and read the problem statement. The problem statement says a system consists of 5 processes P0 through P4. So as you can see in this photograph here, we have 4 to 5 processes P0 through P4, and we have 3 resource types. Now what resource types are is that each process requires some kind of a resource. It can be a CPU based resource or a file. Suppose some process requires a file to do some task, so it also counts as a resource. Some process might require a printer, so it comes under input or output, that is IO resource. So we have 3 types of resources that are A, B, and C. So to keep things simpler, we have just used A, B, or C, but these are actually IO based, CPU based, and such type of resources. So A has 7 instances, B has 2, and C has 6 instances. So these are in total. So let's say about B. Let's say B is a printer based, that is IO based resources, and in that we are just using printers. All the P0 through P4 processes need just printers. So what these 2 instances will do is they represent 2 different printers. Okay, so at a time only 2 printers are available, because that's the total number for all of these processes. So at a t0 time, that is at the starting, we have this snapshot of the system. Snapshot of the system, in the sense, we have what is going on inside the system, what is the allocation, what is the request, and what is the available need for each of the process. So like if you see here, for P0, we have this much allocation. That means B1. It says that for the process P0, currently we have allocated one resource of type B. That means, let's say we have allocated one printer to type B. That means B is using a printer and it is not using A and C resources. So its request, that means what else it needs. Its request is 0. That means it does not need anything else. And available resources are 0. That means all the resources have been consumed currently. Okay, so let's take one more example. Let's say P3. P3 is using 2 resources of A, one of B, and one of C, and its request is one of A. That means to complete its job, what P3 process needs is it needs a resource of A type. So it currently has 2, and it needs one more to complete, so that it can be done. And once a process is done with its job, all the resources that it was holding are released back to the system. Like for example, here in case of P0, it was using just one printer. So once its job is done, that printer can be free, and it can be allocated to some other process, or it can be just be free if no other process is demanding it. So we have here that at time t1, process p2 requests an additional resource instance of type C. So process p2, this, it requests a resource of C at time t1, let's say. So we need to write a program to check whether deadlock exists at time t1. So if the process p2 requests that resource, so will there be a deadlock or not? Now, what is deadlock? A deadlock is a situation that occurs in an operating system when any process enters a waiting state because another waiting process is holding the demanded resources. So, deadlock is a really common problem in multiprocessing where several processes share a specific type of mutually exclusive resources. So that's the case here. Like all these processes are sharing some set of resources. So it may happen that some other process has already acquired that resource, and the same resource P2 wants to acquire. So in that case, a deadlock may arise, and a deadlock is essentially something that system enters a lock state, and you can't do anything. So a cycle is created. That means the first process is requesting the resource that the second process has. The second is requesting the resource that the third process has, and so on. So in this way, a cycle continues, and no process is able to access anything. So in that case, it is known as a deadlock. So what we need to do is to check whether deadlock will occur or not. If at a certain time P2 requests an additional instance of type C. So here what we need to do is print all the deadlock processes if the deadlock exists. And then we need to select one victim process for termination, and we need to do that by a given criteria. And at last we need to print how many process need to be terminated to solve the deadlock. Sometimes it may happen that if we terminate a single process, then the cycle that I have talked about will be broken. But sometimes there may be the requirement of more than one process. So in this, what we will do is we will use a banker's algorithm. What a banker algorithm is, it is a resource allocation and deadlock avoidance algorithm that it will test for the safety by simulating the allocation for predetermined maximum possible amounts of all resources. Then it will make a safe state and check to test the possible activities. So what it will do is it will make use of the allocation and the request resources, and it will create a need matrix. Now what a need matrix is, uh, the need matrix is the requested minus allocation. That means what is the need of the process currently. So on the basis of that, it will check if there will be a deadlock or not. So let's look at the program. So as you can see, it's a really long program, but the essential goal here is to find the deadlock if it exists or not, and we are using the banker's algorithm here. So first, let's see the main program, and then we will see at all these functions in detail as they come. So first we have int p5 0. I will come to this later. First we have this alloc array. It's a 2D array of 5 rows and 3 columns. So what this alloc array is, it's this allocation table right here. Okay. So this alloc array, like let's see, for the first process it was 0 1 0. So we have placed that 0 1 0. For second it was 200. So we have 200. So the alloc is just the allocated resources. The required req is the required resources that the process requires, and the available is the currently available resources with the system. And as you can see, they are all zero currently. Next, deadlock process count is 0 currently, as we need to print out the number of processes that were in deadlock. So we have to essentially use a counter to do that. So we will initialize it to 0, and we have all the necessary information from the image into our arrays here. Now, first of all, at time t0, we will call the function check deadlock, and we will pass here all the resources available and the number of processes, that was 5 p0 through p4. So let's see what the check deadlock function does is. As you can see here, we have the check deadlock function, and it takes the available and everything, and this total is the total number of processes. So we have here a sequence and a loop variable and some other counters. So we have an indefinite loop while one, and if pr of p is the process, so here we have the pr, so it's a process pointer. So if the processes of I is 0, that means if anything allocation is not done, so we will return 1. And so in this way, for each loop variable, we will check the required, and if it is less than available of each process, then we can add the allocated resources to the available resources. So it's just the basics of banker's algorithm. So in this way we will do that, and once that is done, we can print that p of the loop variable, that is the process number, is done. So it will print P1 is done, so or P0 is done, so it will print that the process number is done, and then we will reset the point, reset the resources, and we will use this loop variable in a circular manner, so that it will go to P0, then it will check for P1, then P2, then P3, then P4, and after P4 is done, it will come back to P0. Okay, so for P0th, if the zeroth process ID is 0, and if required of that zeroth process, and 0 is the index A, B, or C. As you can see, we have three columns. The row number specifies the processes. So here we have 5. So the if the loop variable is 0, it will be the first process, that is P0. If P0's 0, that means if P0's A resource is less than its availability, so we can grant it, and we have to check for both the all the three resources simultaneously. So we have AND for the B resource, that is number 1, and for the C resource, if it satisfies this condition, then we can execute that process, and we will print that the process is done, and then we will increment the loop variable to check for the next one, and we will increment the counter. So this counter will keep track of the number of processes, and if the counter is greater than the total, that means this total which we have passed 5, so it will just break. And if PR of P, that means if it returns 1 anyhow, so there is essentially a deadlock, and we need to print out that there is a deadlock, and we need to return 1. As there will be no deadlock, and we will get the sequence, and we have been storing the sequence here. We will be storing the sequence in this sequence array, so we can print out the sequence. So here what the Banker's algorithm does is, it generates a safe sequence, and what a safe sequence is, in which sequence or in which order the process can actually get the resources and request it, and if no safe sequence is generated, then there is actually a deadlock occurring. So we'll do that, and we have all the other functions here. So what this function does is, it essentially if there is a safe sequence generated, then there is a no problem, then there is a no deadlock occurring. But if your safe sequence is not generated, then we have to actually increment the process counter, and that we can do by this function. And then once a deadlock, we know that according to this function, that no safe sequence was generated and there is a deadlock. So we will call the this function, that is select victim and terminate. So what this will do is, it will select a victim process based on the processes and everything. So it's generally it's basically the same Banker's algorithm as we all know. So it will do that, and it will revert back to the original state. And in this way we can create a program to check for deadlock. And thanks for watching.